Welcome to the Visible Entrepreneur Podcast, Season 5. I'm your host, Michelle Lewis, founder of Visibility Vixen. I've spent years studying color psychology, branding, visibility, and publicity, all geared to help you hit your goals faster than anyone else. I'm a TEDx speaker, Amazon best-selling author, and have helped thousands of entrepreneurs worldwide with their visual presence. I'm going to be going even deeper than I've ever gone before. I'm going to be sharing what's working, what isn't, what I'm struggling with, how I'm growing my business personally, and a lot of things in this industry that I think are simply untrue. My goal is to help you blow up your brand in the best way to attract your ideal audience subconsciously. If you're ready for growth, go to visibilityvixen.com to get started today. In the meantime, let's dive into today's episode. And if you think this is a topic that a biz bestie or a friend of yours or even a relative would love, do me a favor, forward it to them, and let's dive into this episode. Hey there, and welcome back to the Visible Entrepreneur Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be getting up close and personal with how personal is your business. Pretty much that's my way of making I think boring term called personalization exciting, because this is something that I think gets overlooked a lot when we are building our business, but I think it's extremely important. So stay tuned with me as we dive into today's episode. So the first thing I want you to think about is, how are you providing a personalized experience in your business? Because sometimes we get so caught up in the visibility, the social media, the lead generation that we kind of leave this out. And I know that we don't mean to, and I'm speaking from experience because I was dealing with this avalanche of trying to keep up with everything, that when I finally stepped back and was like, oh, but what am I doing once they're in the door, once they've given the email, once they've given the sale? And that's when I really started to jump on board with what is called personalization. All that means is making a personal experience, or something that you've put the work into once, that continues to be a personal experience for the customer, so that they know that you care, so they know that you're thinking about how they feel about things, because I think that is such an important part of what we are doing in our businesses. So let me give you an example. I run a challenge called the Comfy on Camera Challenge, right? I've run it for many years now and did a bunch of it live and then turned it evergreen, because I just don't necessarily have the time right now to run that challenge live each and every month, right? It's pretty easy when you're doing a live challenge. You're sending out the emails manually, you're showing up live, like all of that is pretty easy to create that personalized experience. But when you turn it evergreen, how are you doing that? So there's a couple of different things that I've done specifically with the Comfy on Camera Challenge. First of all, I make the sales page, even though it's free, really specific to what they are going to get. I'm using personal language that I've actually heard from students and their fear of being on camera, like breaking out in hives, anxiety attacks, all that kind of stuff. And I'm also sharing my biggest fears that have happened that I've had to overcome with stepping out and being visible. That's how I've done it in mine. I also do stuff like, for example, when I get a new member into the Visibility Lounge program, well, all of that content is pre-recorded, right? But I've done things like, and hopefully you have some notes so you can write this down, I used Bonjoro to welcome them, right? It's a higher cost program. It's one of the highest ones that I offer inside of Visibility Vixen. So I don't have a problem when I'm out and about. Like the last member that joined, I was at the coffee shop with my husband. Boop, so-and-so just joined the Visibility Lounge. I opened the app. Hey, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining. I can't wait to see you. Be sure to book a hot seat and I'll see you inside the community. Takes less than a minute. It goes to them, makes them feel seen by me, because they are. I've also put accountability emails so that depending on where they are in the program, when they complete a lesson, they get an automatic email from me that says like, hey, you just finished the mission statement workshop. Great job. So excited for you. Keep going, because next you're going to learn about blank. I find that this to be a really great way for them to feel celebrated by me, because obviously behind the computer here, I'm not going to know once they've taken a lesson, but Kajabi knows, and I can set it up so that they feel seen, they feel loved, they feel prioritized. And I think that is so important. So, as we move in through this episode, I want to highlight a couple of businesses that I think do personalization pretty well. And I think that it's something that we can learn from as entrepreneurs. The first one is going to be Netflix. I'm sure most of us have Netflix, no matter how you feel about the company or its decisions or its politics or whatever. Let's look at it from a business structure. They've done a very good job. They started with mailing DVDs to people, one step ahead of Blockbuster. Then they developed streaming. Now they have you on every piece of content you're watching, be able to rate it so they can customize your experience depending on what you're watching. That is really, really powerful for people that maybe don't want to spend a lot of time scrolling. What's the average attention span now? Like 0.5 seconds. So that can be really awesome. So what lessons can we take from Netflix? Well, maybe we can customize our email sequences. For example, we talked about the Comfy on Camera challenge. When they're done with the challenge, if they don't upsell into the lounge, am I just going to be like, okay, see ya? That's what I used to do. Now, at the end of every lead magnet email series, I have a thanks so much for being a part of the Comfy on Camera challenge. I know that it wasn't the right time for you to buy yet. That's totally fine. Here's some other free resources I have for you. Are you interested in getting on stage? That takes them to the Stage by Summer masterclass. Are you interested in figuring out your unique visibility personality type? That takes them to the quiz. And I do that at the end of every single one of those free email sequences so that they know that they can continue on with me, that I'm still willing to serve. They feel communicated with and not just endlessly pitched to. That is a little bit of a lesson of what you can provide that's similar to Netflix. You can also make it so that you're sending out polls like every month. What kind of content do you want to see from me? I see a lot of entrepreneurs successfully doing that, and I think it's a great idea. A very similar strategy is done by Amazon with their personalization based on things that you've liked and purchased. Spotify, definitely with the personalized music recommendations for sure. Uber Eats, the same kind of thing. All of this is based on making the experience better for the customer, giving them the freedom and flexibility of choice based on their unique likes and needs. Now, if we're offering info products, obviously we can't just endlessly create every product that they want, but through polling and seeing how people go through our products and how they complete them and their average success rate, we can make it a lot more enticing. You can look through your course and go, okay, well, 90% of the people who bought haven't logged in. I had sometimes that was happening in the lounge because, of course, we're excited. We sign up for a membership and then life takes over. So for me, I went, okay, I can create a custom email sequence after someone buys the lounge where for 2 weeks until I have the automation that triggers that they've actually logged in and taken one of the first lessons that reminds them to log in. I can do the same thing all the way through the program if I want to, but I think it's a little bit overkill. So for me, that's really great because that reminds the person to come back, to log in. Come on, let's at least get you started. You paid for this, right? That can be really, really powerful. Like I said, you can also do cheerleading posts as they go through the courses. Maybe you've noticed that they only go through 20%. Well, figure out what that lesson is and how you can be more firm with the call to action to getting into the next section. Maybe that's with some email reminders. Maybe that's adding at the back end of that video saying, now I know at this point we're getting a little bit overwhelmed and that you have a lot to process. But here's what I don't want to happen for you. I don't want you to stop and leave. Please. If nothing else, just click next lesson and start the next lesson, because this is where a lot of people can start getting a bit of fatigue. So you can do it. I'm cheering you on. Let's click next and keep going. Even something as simple as that can have such huge results. So that's how we can definitely provide more personalization. And I think that is just such an awesome thing that we can do. So the other thing that I've seen that's worked really, really well is people have been able to set up on their Instagram, on their Facebook, hey, comment blank, and I'll send you this. The home edit does it all the time. Hey, they have a post the other day they did on organizing the refrigerator, which is like one of my biggest things that I love to stay organized. And that's not necessarily true of everyone else in my home. So it drives me crazy. So they were showing, however they knew mentally that that's what I was struggling with. Hey, here's what we use for the fridges. And if you want the links to these product materials, just drop yes below. So I'm like, yes. And it immediately jams me. Hey, we just wanted to be sure that you got this. Here's the link, enjoy. Of course, do I know that they personally sent that to me and took their time? No, but the automation made my life easier. A lot of people are integrating with AI and Chat GPT and all kinds of things to make these lead generation processes much, much simpler. So it's something that we could absolutely continue to do. So, short and sweet episode, wanted to give you some of those ideas and how you can increase the personalization, AKA that client connection inside of your business, and to try to prioritize that for this quarter. We worked on a lot of cleanup last quarter, getting things organized. You're going to see that on Visibility Vixen, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Now you're going to see me working much more on personalization, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So if this episode resonated with you, I want to hear about it. I create this content for you. That would be absolutely amazing. Let me know how you've been using personalization, or if this has maybe woken up the desire for you to do so in your business. In the meantime, here's what's happening over at Visibility Vixen. I just released my mini bio workshop. I hosted it live a couple of days ago. It went really, really well. It was so beneficial that I felt the need to create it as an evergreen product in my product suite. So you can go to visibilityvixen.com/store and explore. If you want to take the workshop, it's super affordable. It's my most affordable product. You can jump over and take that. A mini bio is so powerful because it introduces yourself. It's the handshake to your potential customer. You can put this on your homepage, your about page, your sales pages, your press page, your book, your social media accounts, your press submissions. So if this is something you've been struggling with, this workshop is going to help you finish it, complete it, celebrate it, get it checked off your checklist, which I think is so important. The other thing that's going to be coming to Visibility Vixen, I'm going to be introducing you to my team in my about page, so that keep an eye out for that. I am also going to be creating a Rolodex page. These are the people I have personally worked with and trust. So if you're looking for a specific service, you're not sure who to trust, you maybe think that I might give you a good referral, this page is going to exist for that reason. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I will see you next time. We're going to be talking about a lot of incredible stuff about marketing, visibility, publicity, all of that in the coming weeks. In the meantime, I'll see you soon. I hope you loved this episode as much as I did. Now, we're all about building a tribe here at The Visible Entrepreneur, so be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and then head on over to the Facebook group. It's a great place where you can practice your video, live stream, and really enjoy the community that we have built. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next episode. Now get out there and get more visible.
That's a wrap.